Hi folks, I'm here with Well from Austin, Texas. Very nice show at Titans Club Belgium. Can you give some impressions of the venue and of the show today?
Yeah, the show was great. The stage sound was super good. This is a really nice venue. The catering was very nice in the back there. We were able to smoke inside. I appreciate that. And all in all, it was a fun night.
We had some good Belgian beers too.
Yeah,
So
that probably makes the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold.
What are your impressions of the tour so far? So I saw you played also last week in Cafe in Lille. So that's also close to my house. I often go also to Lille. Can you also maybe talk a little more about this concert? I think it was a good one, and also of the tour in general.
The tour so far has been very well attended. It's been really fun, fast paced. We have no days off. What would you like to say about the rest of it?
Lille in particular was beautiful. I really like that city as a whole. Ate some good stinky cheese. Had some quiche, and the promoter who worked for booked all of the French shows. Dead Pig was in attendance in Lille, so we got to meet him, Pierre, and he was very nice. The crowd was super great. They had stage lights and smoke and atmosphere, and it was a lot of fun. Jason, anything?
Yeah, one of my favorites this tour so far has been Paris. I love how crazy that city is. It's like New York on acid to me because I don't know what's going on ever, but it's beautiful.
You will also have like a next Belgian show in Genk. So I hope there's gonna be like a good crowd because it's a Saturday. What do you expect from the gig next Saturday?
We're very much looking forward to playing Camargue in Genk on Saturday, February 8th. This will be only our second club show in Belgium, today being the first. Previously, we played Desert Fest Belgium in Antwerp. And of course, if you've ever gone to Desert Fest, you know it's a lot of fun. So we're hoping for a repeat in Genk at Camargue.
What do you remember of Desert Fest? Because that's quite a famous fest.
Well, we played a room that was at capacity. The crowd was very, very responsive, and Ian dropped an amplifier.
Yeah, amplifier vibrated off of my cabinets. An abrupt end to the song. We luckily had another orange amp to throw on top of it, and we threw it up there, continued playing.
After Jason and I had to do a rhythm solo for improv jam for 4 minutes while Ian sorted it out.
That wasn't the 4-minute jam. I fixed that really fast. I broke a string directly after that, and then had to run off the stage and restring a guitar and then finish the set. So I think we were kind of underdog heroes at that point to the crowd because we still finished and we still kept smiles on our faces. But, yeah.
So now a bit more about your music. Can you give like yourself a description of your musical style and also like direct influences and indirect influences? The influences can be both musically and lyrically.
Well, the music has always been anything that was rather, I mean, it can be construed as dark and heavy in emotional sense. I mean, I know there's riffs involved that are heavy, but music has to be heavy for me to enjoy it, and that's the kind of stuff that we like to play. And it has to be emotionally heavy to have a gravity to what's going on. But we could be doing that with acoustic guitars. If done properly, then that's the way it goes. As far as influences go, there's, I mean, everything from like Joy Division, The Cure, T-Rex, of course Black Sabbath, especially early Sabbath, Ministry, anything that just packs a punch. I mean, I'll listen to Cat Stevens occasionally. I mean, it could be anything that day that I can translate, or we can translate, that can become whatever the
Well, what about
filtered
like
through
with
it.
novels and
Oh,
poets and stuff?
sure. There's a lot of literary cues that take too. I mean, from everybody, from like Mexican poets, German, a lot of French poets that I grew up reading. A lot of poetry influences what I do. When we sit down and make the simple structures, it's a lot of usually paintings. I look at paintings, poems, and maybe listen to some albums that have nothing to do with the type of music that we play, filter that through the subconscious, and then spatter it out and organize it. That's it.
If I give myself a description, I heard you a nice concert today. I would say like very much the 5 first albums of Sabbath mixed with the first album of Witchcraft from Scandinavia, and maybe also like some Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. What do you think about my impression?
Yeah, I can see that. I enjoy like every one of those bands, especially the early Sabbath stuff. Yeah, it just and that stuff. It's fun to play, and it's fun to play slower a lot of the time, and to focus on usually the story. And I know most people probably aren't getting that because it's the vocals might be psychedelic sounding or whatever, a lot of reverb. But I like that there's an emotional ups and downs in the song, and it's just songwriting. It's storytelling essentially. So
That's why we put our lyrics in the
yes, that's
in
why
the jacket.
always available lyrics inside the jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can read the story.
If you like.
Can you give like a very short biography of the band? Maybe mention the most important points in records, and you can show it to us on the video.
So we started in around 2012. We recorded our first album, Samsara, with Mark Dutram, who was a bass player with the Melvins.
And also producer for the Melvins.
And producer.
Yeah.
He also played with Sun. He's wonderful. So he produced this one for us. And then our sound engineer on Samsara, we worked with him for Pagan Science, which came out in 2016. This one has a lot more like studio work, I guess.
Studio tricks, yeah.
Yeah, we had time to actually spend in the studio and play with all of the different
options.
And then our most recent endeavor, Death and Consolation, also with Chico Jones.
On Writing Easy Records, all of these are on Writing Easy.
And this one we released in 2019. It's my favorite of the bunch. It's, I think, darker, a little heavier. We down-tuned to C for this album.
And it also has more like possibly new wave aspects to it, but not overly done. But you can hear it more on this one. Our influences from bands like Joy Division and Bauhaus, stuff like that, but not too heavy.
How did you came to the band name? Is there a special reason behind the band name? Maybe also mention there are quite some bands or sites called The Well. So how can people find you most easily also on the social media?
Well, on social media you can follow us at The Well Band on Instagram.
And Facebook.
And Twitter. And you can also Google The Well Austin and just find anything on YouTube or Writing Easy Records, all of that. We're going to be the band that comes up with the most stuff. I mean, we've been at this a while. But as far as the way it came, we've been looking for I'd been writing down words to try to name the band for like 6 months. And One day I was on my phone looking for Wi-Fi, and it said the well. I think it was a church, and it popped up, and I'm like, that's it, because the gravity of it. I mean, the well is mysterious. The well can contain something or nothing at all. I mean, it can echo back at you. There's a lot of metaphor with just that thing. Everybody has a different image in their head, and it's usually slightly dark. So I thought it was perfect, simple, one syllable, well,
No connection at all. That like one of the great Candlemass songs is Well of Souls. That's just by luck.
No, but I do enjoy Candlemass. But no, sorry, no connect, not on purpose.
So now a question I pose to everybody on my YouTube channel. Suppose you're on a desert island, you don't have internet, no phones, no television, no radio. You can only listen to 3 CDs or 3 vinyls. Which 3 vinyls each one of you would take with you on a desert island?
It's a hard one. I would say things I can listen to over and over without getting tired of. The Sound, Jeopardy. This is unpopular with Ian, but Pulp, Different Class. And probably Echo and the Bunnymen. Ocean Rain. Yeah. Next.
Yeah, Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks, the first Black Sabbath self-titled, and probably some weird Lee Scratch Perry dub, like Return of Super Ape, probably, just to make it interesting. If I'm stuck on a desert island, I want a little bit of variety.
I guess mine would be Jimi Hendrix, Band of Gypsies. Waylon Jennings, Are You Ready for the Country? And I don't know, maybe Black Lips, 200 million thousand. That's a great one.
Wild card.
It's wild card.
I'm gonna be very fair. I often play the game with the band, so I'm gonna play it with you, and a bit more or less in your style. I listen to many things myself. Solitude Aeternus, the very first album. Then Witchcraft, the very first album, and then to go a bit more new wave, gothic, Fields of the Nephilim, Downraiser. So the first Fields. Do you have something to add? Something important coming very soon after the tour, like a record coming out? It can be a record of a video or like a lyric video or something else important after the tour.
After this tour, which is still, we still have a month left on this tour in total, maybe a little bit more.
So we go to West Coast in the U.S.
Of America, yeah, and up to Canada and back down to Texas. After that point, we're going to take a break, start doing some writing. And then after that, we have the Psycho Smokeout Festival. That's going to be in Los Angeles, and that's, what is that?
It's April 18th.
April 18th, and then we come home and continue writing, and I believe we're going to do, should we talk about the Stone and Dust thing? Oh.
We haven't confirmed it, but I think it's pretty much confirmed. Stoned and Dusted Festival as well in
Joshua
May
Tree.
in Joshua Tree, which is just awesome to be a part of the resurgence of the desert scene out there that kind of started everything.
Well, we're going to take a small break and just write, but it's not much of a break because we'll be doing some one-off shows during the break, and then we'll have another album coming out as soon as possible. So.
Well, I would just add that I was very happy to have made it to the show because I had a car breakdown, like a tire that was just broken because there was a pit in the road. So we made it, and I will try to come also to your show in Genk. So this interview was done by Jan Vervaeke for Jan Vervaeke YouTube, Jan Vervaeke Foto and Film Facebook page, and also Metal to Infinity webzine. Give some horns to the crowd.
Thank you.
Yeah.
so much. It's a pleasure.